All right, what's up everyone? My name is Matt and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you a walkthrough of a lesson titled My Family. So in this lesson, they're going to be learning all the family members. They're going to be learning man, woman, girl, and boy, he and she, and some simple sentences like she is my younger sister, she is a girl. It's a very fun and simple lesson, and if you'd like to teach it yourself, you can go in the video description below and you can click a link there. It'll take you to a place where you can download this PowerPoint. And if you look further down, you'll see there's a few dozen PowerPoints which you can download. So there's a comprehensive list under each of my videos now. So if you're curious and you'd like to check that out, don't forget to go and look at it. And also, I have a Taobao store. If you're in China or you don't have a credit card or PayPal and you'd like to download this, you can also go to my Taobao store and you can find all of my PowerPoints there as well. So yeah, I really hope you find this useful. If you do, don't forget to smash the like button. It really helps me out. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and leave a comment below if you have any questions or anything like that. I'd really love to hear from you. All right, without further ado, let's get into the walkthrough. All right, let's have a look at this PowerPoint. So I'm just going to skip past all of the intros. If you're curious about my intros, just check out any of the videos on my channel. Most of them include the entire lesson, so you can see how I do the intro with the warm-up and everything like that. Let's just skip ahead. Okay, let's learn. Teaching part 1. So in this lesson, I'm going to be teaching girl, boy, man, woman, and then the family members, as well as he and she, and 2 sentences. So first I need to make sure they know all the vocabulary words. So I want to go through and start with the most basic and then build from there. So first I will show them this photo, this picture, with the Chinese and see who knows it, okay? In grade 2 or 3, you definitely have students that know it. Not all of them will know it, and it won't come to all of them that quickly, so let them think. You'll show it, wait like 5-10 seconds and let them think. You'll have students that immediately raise their hand, but that's okay. Let them all think, and then I'll select a student and have them say the word. So the word is girl, and you can do an action for girl. You can decide on your own action for girl, do the action, and say the word, and have the student say the word. Okay. What I tend to do is if my class is broken up into teams, and if I notice that one of the teams is doing the action better, then I'll give points to encourage them throughout the class to do the actions and to earn more points. Okay. So I'll go through each one, same drill for each vocabulary word with an action. Okay. One by one, just go through and call them to give you the answer, do the action, say the word several times. Okay, and then I show each one more time, and as I show it, for example, after that slide, as I show it, I want them to say the word. Now they're reading it, right? Because there's no picture. So they'll say man, girl, boy, woman. Very good. And I'll say, are you ready? What is this? And I'll push it, and the woman will fly past, and the first student to say woman will get a point for their team. And it's sort of like a game, but they don't really realize that it's a game, but it is a game, right? And it's sort of like a pop quiz in the middle because they need to be quick, okay? They need to be quick and they need to recognize fast what it is. Oh, that's a man, okay? First student to say gets a point. Maybe I'll do the action as well. And I'll go through each one, okay? Oh, did the boy not come there? There he is. There he is. So I push it. There he is. Let's go back and make sure it works. Man, boy. All right, it works. I just pushed the buttons wrong. I only have to click it once and it'll pop up. And the girl. Okay, and then we'll play the first official game, and that's the fadeaway game. So I will show them this fading away, and the first student to say whatever's hidden behind will get a point. Okay, so the first student to say woman will get a point. And so again, the class is split up into teams, and I'm seeing who will say it first. So I'll slowly make it fade away. See if they can recognize what it is. Okay, the first student to say man, at this point they're going to be shouting it out. They can get a point. Man. Okay? And we'll do it for each one. The first student to say it when they realize what it is gets a point for their team. I'm just drilling the new vocabulary. See, a lot of teachers, they'll teach words and just drill. Okay, but my drilling is in the form of games, like the previous game where you saw the pictures fly by and the first student to say it. I'm drilling, but they don't feel like it's drilling. They feel like it's a fun game. It's an activity. And so they don't realize that they're studying, and that's what I want. I want them to not realize that they're in the middle of studying. They just feel like it's a game. They're earning points. and they're learning English without really thinking about, oh, we're learning. When I come into the room, most of my students see my class as a fun class. I want them to believe that English is fun. If they believe that English is fun, they'll be more willing to participate and they'll be more willing to learn without realizing it. And that's what I want. Okay, so just go through each one and teaching part 2. So after, I just want to say this really quick. When you get to a slide like this, refocus the class because they'll be pretty excited. So you say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stand like this as signal they should be quiet. And what I do in my class is the last group to be quiet will not get any points, and the other students, the other teams will get points. Or the first team to be quiet will get points, and the other teams won't get points. And you can mix it up back and forth. So all they know is they want to be as fast as they can, okay? Because being the fastest could earn them points, and being last will definitely not earn them points, okay? So teaching part 2. I'll show them this, see if they know the word. In grade 2 or 3, it depends on like how good your students are. They might not know this word, but I think it's an important word for them to learn. So I'm teaching it, even though it's not really going to pop up too much in the rest of the lesson. I just want them to know, like, this is kind of the topic of the lesson, right? Family, okay? Family. And if you want, you can say, like, who is, or you can say, what do you see? What do you see? Don't say who is he, who is she yet, because that comes up later in the lesson. You can say, what do you see? What do you see? And grade 2 or 3, they should know. They should be able to say, like, mom and dad and stuff like that. They might say grandma and grandpa. It depends on their level. Okay, so same thing. We're showing the new words now. See who knows it. And I want to teach the word mother. A lot of them will want to say mom, which is fine. If they say mom in the later part of the lesson, it's okay. But I want to teach them mother because of the pronunciation of the center of this word with the TH. It's important for them to practice. So I want them to say mother, 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 and really get them used to like exercising their tongue in this way. Okay, and you can teach an action for this as well. My mother, sometimes I do like holding the baby, or you can have like any kind of action you want. Okay, mother. And this is what we just learned. So let's see if they can now remember and say quickly what that is. So you show it and they should say woman. Okay, that's what I want. And now we're kind of reviewing what we just learned while we're teaching the new stuff. So it's a double thing. It's review and they're also learning. And go through each one. Same thing. Okay, so father and teach an action. My father, like I'll pick up like a baby like this. Father, mother, okay? And again, show the previous word. They should say man. You can do the action for man, whatever it is. And rinse and repeat for all of them, okay? Each one do the exact same thing. If you have flashcards, you can put the flashcards on the blackboard as they're accumulating this knowledge together. Okay, so here, I want to make sure that they know there's a difference between older sister and we're going to learn younger sister. Of course, you can change this to big sister, little sister if you want. The way I see it learning English is I want them to see these kind of harder words and not really understand the logic about why it's like that now, but they see the word, and later when they understand like what adding ER means, when they start learning faster or quieter or bigger or smaller, they will understand like, wow, we learned that before. That's what that meant before when I learned older. That's what it meant, okay? He is older than me. He is bigger than me. Oh, wow, that has that meaning, okay, without learning it. When I was learning Korean and also Chinese, I picked up a lot of words that I didn't understand the logic behind where it came from, and I just memorized it. And then later when I was taught that, I was like, oh, it was like an epiphany, okay? All of a sudden I realized what it meant, okay? So I think the same thing here. I'm going to teach them this one. Of course, I could teach big and little, but they already know those words probably. I want to teach them another word, that's new for them, okay? And also another reason I'm teaching older and younger here is because in Chinese, there is a difference between these two Chinese words. If you, like in English, we might just say sister. Like I can say, she's my sister, and I don't have to be specific about if it's an older sister or a younger sister. But in Chinese, they have two different words, and one means older sister and one means younger sister. So they would never refer to their younger sister with the word that they say for older sister. They're two different words, okay? So I think that I want to also have them learn this in English because it's logical for a Chinese person. There's two different words in Chinese. There should be two different words in English. And, a lot of teachers, they just teach sister, and I would, it would be older sister and younger sister or just sister. And you'd have both of those Chinese words. So it's easy, but I want the students to also realize it's just actually quicker for them, like logically, because there's two different words in Chinese, that there should be two different words in English. Okay, so I think they'll learn it faster. They definitely, in my experience, they can easily learn this. Okay, and go through each one. Again, you can teach an action for each one as well. So again, go through each word, teach an action, make sure they say it. You can do it by rows if you like. And again, review the previous words that were just taught, okay? And if you want, if you like, you can start saying like, younger sister, she is a girl, she is a girl. You can say it without having them say it, because they're gonna start hearing this word she and he, which is gonna come up later in the lesson. Some of them might already know it, and hearing this in a sentence more and more and more, even before you actually teach it, it can be beneficial for their learning, okay? So even though I haven't taught that part of the lesson yet, I might be saying it because it's natural to say that. Like, younger sister, she is a girl. Good. She is a very cute girl. You can say other English in class, you know, as long as you're saying it slowly and clearly and you think it's not confusing for them, you can do it, okay? A lot of teachers, they just sound like robots in the front and they're just saying whatever words on the board without adding anything else in. And students can pick up on this other stuff, you know, and it'll help them when they are trying to speak later. Okay, believe me, I've sat in classes in Korean and Chinese, and I don't always understand everything the teacher is saying. Or I didn't always understand everything the teacher was saying, but when they officially did teach stuff, I'm like, it sounded more natural to me because I had more listening about stuff that I hadn't officially learned yet. Okay, so it's okay, you know. Like I said, you don't have to drill it to them yet until later in the lesson, but it's okay for you to say it. Okay, younger brother, again with the younger, not the little, and same thing here. He is a boy. Okay, next one, you know. And we're going to play the quick say game. Okay, so quick say game is really basic. My students already know it really well. So I'm technically reviewing the numbers as well. And the way it works is I will say the new word and the students need to say the number. And before playing the game, I will remind them of the rules so they get more listening practice. So I'll say, let's play the quick say game. I will say the word, and I'll point at the picture. I will say grandfather. You say, and I'll point. I'll say, you say 1, okay? And I will say father. You say, and see if they understand that they should say 3, okay? After you play this game once, the kids will understand what you're going to do, but I still think you should explain the rules so they can get more listening practice. So first step, I say the new word, they say the number. First student gets a point or 2 points or whatever you like. If it's a tie, you can give each team a point, or you can say it's a tie, no points. Okay, after I do it for like 30, 40 seconds, then I'll switch it and I will say the number and they should say the word. So I'll say 4, they say mother. I say 7, they say older brother. Okay, and so on. Very fun, very simple, can be adapted to any lesson, obviously. And it's a really great way to get them to drill, and the kids actually really like it. I've done it for years. It's very effective. All right, teaching part 3. Okay, so the next part of the scaffold, the next part of the lesson, I just want to make sure the students know these 2 words. I think in grade 3, they're all going to know it. In grade 2, depending on the level of your students, they might or might not. But, you know, it's good for you to review it just to make sure, you know, you're not assuming they know anything. So he and she, and then show all the family members. And we'll just play a really, really quick thing here. So I will put a square around one of them, like this. And they should say, she. The first student to say she can get a point. And then I will say, she is my mother. Good. She is my mother. And they should chant it out. And you can give them extra points. Okay. Same thing. Okay. Next one. He. Very good. Good job, team 3. And then I'll say, team 3, he is my, and they'll say, father. Okay. And rinse and repeat for all of them. Okay. Drilling as many times as you can. The he and the she and this sentence that's about to happen. You haven't officially taught yet, but it just includes a few extra words. And that's totally fine. Okay. It's going to be words they've probably heard before anyway, like he is my, she is my, this type of thing. So go through each one, and then now you can officially teach the question and re-say the sentence that you were just having them say before that you had not officially taught yet. So, who is he? Who is he? He is my grandfather. And you can do actions for each thing, like he is my grandfather. My grandfather is it's the backache thing like this, and grandmother's got the one cane. Okay, it's up to you what you like, but that's how I do it. So, and I forgot. The who is, if you've watched my videos, you know my Halloween stuff. I've done this a million times now. Who is, I point at the crowd. So it's like, who is he? Who is she? Okay, and again, go through each one. Who is he? You can have like one side ask the other side, or just they can all stand up and do the actions for the first few. It's fine. again, I award points for people doing actions. Okay, so who is he? Who is she? And then drill each thing. Okay, she is my older sister, and go through. Okay, for the benefit of time here, I'm not going to go through each one and show you, but you get the picture, right? You're drilling the sentence and the question. Okay, and then move on here. And again, we're kind of just doing the same thing again, but just really beating it into them. So who is she? Mother. She is my mother. Okay, and now I'm hiding that part of the sentence, so they should see if they can do it, right? Who is she? She is my mother. Okay, they could just see it in the previous one. They could see the full sentence, and now you're just showing them and seeing if they can actually remember this other part, right? Who is she? She is my older sister. Good. And you can also do it. You can see here on the bottom, I have numbers. So you can also, like, before you even do this part, it's up to you. Before you even do it, you can just call out numbers. You know, you can say 3 and see, like, who can say the word. So older brother. It's just a quick say, review reminder. You know, you can just say 2, younger sister, 5, grandfather. Since the previous part was kind of just drilling, a little bit boring, here I have it set up with numbers just in case you want to do like another quick say game real fast, just to get them excited and ready to go. Okay, that's why I have them there. I want to have extra stuff there just in case. You know, just in case I need that in my lesson. I need them to, you know, help me cue them to say other stuff, because otherwise, you know, the class can get boring. You want to excite them as often as you can. Okay, and after the drilling here, you move on to the next section, which is a click away game. Okay, my students love the click away game. Man, I've played it, and I play it as part of like probably half my classes as like either review or just, you know, like today's lesson. Here's this lesson. You can see them doing it as part of the lesson. They absolutely love it. Okay, so the way it works is I bring up 2 students from one team, and they should one student should ask the other student and point at one of the family members. So, for example, you bring up a girl and a boy from one team, and they choose one. So the girl will walk up and point at the mother, and she'll say, "Who is she? Who is she?" And then I'll have the class say, "Who is she?" And then the other student has to say, "She is my mother." Okay, and then I will click on the picture, and it will reveal points. Okay, the students absolutely love this game. And the same thing, bring up a student from another team, and they can choose. Make sure you're pointing at the picture so they understand that they should point, like, who is she? Who is he? Otherwise, they're going to just stand there and say, who is she? And you're going to be like, who? You have to point, you know. So make sure that they pick this up. If I were you, I'd select some like pretty clever students to play the first round of this, just so it's not like a student like deer in headlights in the front of the room, like, not sure what they should do. You know who your most clever students are. Bring them up for stuff like this. They can model it to everyone. You can praise them, you know, and then again, you can see there's there's different point values. Okay, and there's 8 of them. So if you have 2 teams, each team can have 4 goes. If you have 4 teams, each team can have 2 goes. And yeah, that's how that works. Let's move on. Okay, so I think the next part of this lesson is kind of just like a formality. Make sure you're bridging everything, putting it together. I go through it pretty quickly in my class because they're going to get a lot of practice with this in the next section, so I don't need to say it so much, but I would just go through and drill it. So you can see there's blanks here. You can call on one student or 2 students to do the first few, and then after that you can kind of just drill through, unless you think that they need the practice. Okay, or you can play it as a game. You can bring up one. You can have one student from each team stand up, and they can say what it is. Okay, so she is my, and then those 4 students should say it. Okay, you can do it a bunch of different ways. You have to feel how your class is going. I actually won't do this the exact same way in every class, depending on the energy of the class and how well they're picking it up. You know, I have to adapt during class. I don't just follow my PowerPoint exactly and I'm going to do it the exact same in every class, because it might not work the same in every class. You have to really feel the level of your students and everything. But basically, look, it's the words we just learned. Okay, so they should be able to do it, right? But it depends on you how you want to drill with your class. So she is my mother. She is a woman. Okay, same thing here. You can call on students, one student if you like, or a row to stand up, or like I said, 4 students, 1 from each team, and they should you can point. She is my older sister. She is a girl. Okay, it's totally up to you. I just think this is a necessary part of the lesson to bridge between what we're learning and the games which are coming. Okay, so just go through each one, and yeah, let's go on to the next game, which is going to be where they get a chance to practice this. Now it's a guessing game. It's, again, All of my games are just a way to get them to say the language while they're having fun. They don't realize they're learning, but they are learning, and they're saying the language many, many times. That's what I want, okay? So the guessing game works like this. All they can see is that it's a girl, okay? And as we know, there are two girls in this family. There's an older sister and a younger sister. Which one is it? Okay, no one knows. So you need to call on one student from each team, have them stand up, and have each one of them say the sentence. So she is my, and they should guess, is an older sister or a younger sister. If they guess older sister, you can write like OS above that team, or you can write the full, if your handwriting is nice, you can write quickly, write older sister. I tend to just abbreviate it just because my handwriting is pretty bad and it's gonna take time to write it. If you have flashcards on the board, you can put a magnet, like if you have teams 1, 2, 3, 4, you can have magnet 1, 2, 3, 4 and put the magnet there. That also works. A lot of teachers like to do that. And so they should guess, okay? Older sister or younger sister, okay? And they should also say the second sentence. So if they think it's older sister, they should say, she is my older sister. She is a girl. Okay, older sister, team 1. Team 2, she is my younger sister. She is a girl. Okay, younger sister. Okay, like this. Each one, and then reveal the answer and reveal the points. Now the teams that got it right, I will then have them say, well, after they're going to be cheering, give them 2 points each and be like, okay, sit nicely. Let's say the sentence. These teams. She is my older sister. She is a girl. Good job. And rinse and repeat. Okay, again, there's 2 women in this family. There's a grandmother and a mother. Which one is it? Call on students to say the sentence and guess the family member, and then reveal the points. Ooh, 3 points this time. Have the winning teams say the sentence and move on. There's 2 men in this family, right? There's a grandfather and a father. Which one is it? Again, rinse and repeat. Okay? Same thing. There's 2 boys in the family, an older brother and a younger brother. Which one is it? Oh, it's younger brother, okay? And again, we're drilling the full sentences. They think it's fun. They're learning. I'm happy because they're saying all the language without me having to pull it out of them, and they're cheering. It's fun. If you watch any of my videos on my channel, you'll see that, like, my class is fun. The kids are having a good time. That's fine, It's a speaking class. I want to get them to talk. How can I get them to talk? Let's play games where they don't realize they're learning. Again, I'll say it 1,000 times because that's the principle that I create all these PowerPoints with. How can I make them have fun? And if you do download this PowerPoint, it'll save you a ton of time. All this stuff's already programmed in here, but if you want to change the vocabulary or remove older brother, younger brother, and just change it to brother, it's easy. These are editable PowerPoints. You can remove whatever you want, add whatever you want. You want to add cousin or my pet dog or whatever. It's fine. You can do whatever you like. Okay, let's move on to the next section. Okay, so the second to last activity, or it might end up being your last activity if you run out of time, is the dialogue game. And the way it works is I'll bring up or have them stand at their seats 2 students from one of the teams, and I'll assign one of the students as the boy and one of the students as the girl. They don't actually have to be a boy and a girl. It doesn't matter. You can just point and say, okay, you are him or you are her, and they'll probably laugh, but it's okay. They won't care. And then they need to choose. So the student who is the boy needs to say, who is he or who is she? They can choose, okay? Now, based on what they choose, it will affect the rest of the dialogue. So if they say, who is he? It will be, he is my younger brother. He is a boy, okay? So this student will say, who is he or who is she? And then it'll affect what the other student says, okay? Again, bring up clever students to model this. Otherwise, you're going to have students who don't know what they're doing, and it's going to waste time in class. Okay, so the first team says, who is she, okay? Oh, the way I do it, I want to remind you, is have them say the dialogue once. Don't reveal any points because the points will cause them to go insane. So just have them go through the dialogue, say good job, and then go through it again with the class. So everyone together. Who is she? She is my mother. She is a woman. Okay, good job. And then reveal the points. Okay, and when after you reveal the points, what I like to do is I like to say the math equation. So it's like 3 plus 2 plus 3 equals 8. Okay, I want them to practice just hearing this extra language in English, and it's fun. It helps them focus. And after I do it, so I'll be like 3 plus 2 plus 3 equals 8. Sit nicely. Okay, everyone sits nicely, and I'm adding the points. Okay, and then if you want, you can have the next team have to say what's left, or the next team gets the next fresh slide. Okay, so then again, 2 students, And then this time they choose he. Who is he? He is my grandfather. He is a man. All right, then have them, the whole class, say it again, like I said, then reveal the points. Oh, wow. Again, 4 plus 2 plus 2 equals 8. Sit nicely, add the points. Okay, and rinse and repeat for each one. Okay, the kids really like this sort of game. Again, anytime they're getting points, they're going to think it's fun. And that's the purpose, right? They think it's fun. They're saying the language again and again and again. And then the next week and the following week when you review this, you can either reuse the games or at this point they know it. So you can just go through it with one of the other things I showed you where an arrow pops up and it's like, who is he? Who is she? And yeah, you can give them points based on who says it the best. Because in the beginning of class, if you always play these types of really exciting games, it can excite them too much. At the beginning of class, it could be hard to settle them unless you have a lot of experience with the classroom management. So just keep that in mind. You'll figure out your own way, but this is from my experience. At this point now, I can pretty much get them calm at any point in the lesson, but it takes practice. So definitely plan on where you put these more exciting type of games. Okay, so who is she? She is my older sister. She is a girl. Okay, and you can see that I've tried to make the points relatively even. Not exactly even, but it's going to be close. Okay, they're going to be close. Okay, and yeah, let's go into the final thing, the roll and say. Now, you might not get to this activity, but this is one of those activities that could be like open-ended. Like it could take as long as you want because you just have a pair of die and they roll the die, and there's no like real ending to the game. It could just keep going. So if you have extra time at the end of class, let's say your class is an extra 10 minutes, you could have them play this game for the last 10 minutes of class, and it would be fine. So the way it works is you bring up 2 students. One student rolls the die, and that will determine which family member they have. Okay, so they roll and they get the younger brother, and then they do the dialogue. Who is he? He is my younger brother. He is a boy. Good job. Now, I don't want the points here. I mean, the die numbers, like the number on the die to be the points they get, because then they'll get really excited or really disappointed before they even get a chance to say the language, which can really backfire, okay? If they roll a 6, okay, and they know they're going to get 6 points, the whole class will be cheering, and that'll really make it so that you can't hear the language, okay? So the way I have it set up is after they roll the die and get the point, roll the die and say the language. Then they go to the next thing where they spin the wheel to get points. Okay, then you click then they're going to be cheering, whatever, or disappointed. And then you click back and it goes back. Okay, and so I like this best. Like it might happen that the first student rolls a 6 and they'll be cheering. And I'm like, no, not 6 points, no. And they might still be cheering. You'll go through, they'll say it, and then you don't add any points and they're like confused. Then you go here and they spin the wheel and they get 6 points. Okay, they get 6 points here. They're still super excited probably. But they'll understand that the points come from the wheel, not from the die. This is my experience. In the past, I've done it that the die was not only the determiner of the language, but also the determiner of the points. In grade 2, it'll turn into, you might even have students crying because they're disappointed, okay, before the language is even said. So that's why I split them up. And the die is just to determine the language, and the spinning wheel is to determine the points, okay? And yeah, that's the end of the lesson. I hope if you watch this walkthrough that you found it useful. And if you'd like to purchase this PowerPoint, don't forget there's a link in the video description below. You can click on that link and it'll take you to a place where you can buy the lesson, or you can go to my Taobao store. I'll put the link as well in the, not a link, you have to type it into Taobao. If you're in China, you know how it works. Make sure you, after you type in or copy and paste my name, you have to click in, I think it's the third one over. It says like Dianpu, I think, in Chinese, and I'll put it in the bottom, you can see it, and that'll take you to my store. Otherwise, you won't be able to find the store. If you just put my name in, you're not going to find anything. Actually, I'm not a Taobao expert either. My fiance, my future wife, set it up, and the first time I looked for myself, I couldn't even find myself, and I'm like, my store's not here, what are you talking about? And she's like, you have to click on this to find it, okay? And I've had a lot of, not a lot, but definitely like maybe a dozen people who couldn't use it. They didn't know where it was. So also in the video description below, you'll see like a long list of all my PowerPoints. There's a bunch of them there. There's each one, not each one, but most of them have walkthroughs like this or full lesson videos on my channel. You can go through and actually watch them. Some of them don't have walkthroughs yet. but in the future they will. But they're all lessons like this, same type of quality, same type of games and activities. So really hope you found that useful. If you did, please smash that like button. It really helps me out. And yeah, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and leave a comment below if you have any questions or comments or anything. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.